World War II stands as one of the most defining events of the 20th century, a global conflict that reshaped the world in ways we are still experiencing today. From 1939 to 1945, countries from every corner of the globe were drawn into a war that witnessed unprecedented levels of destruction and human suffering. But out of this darkness emerged stories of incredible heroism, resilience, and unity. In this video, we will explore the causes, key events, major battles, and lasting impacts of World War II. To understand why World War II erupted, we need to look at the aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles in 1919 imposed harsh penalties on Germany, leading to economic hardship and national humiliation. The treaty stripped Germany of its territories, limited its military, and demanded exorbitant reparations. These measures crippled the German economy and fostered a deep sense of resentment and anger among the German people. In addition, the Great Depression in the 1930s fueled economic instability worldwide, creating fertile ground for totalitarian leaders like Adolf Hitler in Germany and Benito Mussolini in Italy. Hitler, promising to restore Germany's former glory, rose to power in 1933 and began rearming the nation in defiance of the Treaty of Versailles. Mussolini, on the other hand, sought to revive the Roman Empire and expand Italy's influence through aggressive military campaigns. Another major factor was the failure of the League of Nations, which was established to maintain peace but lacked the authority and power to enforce its resolutions. This allowed aggressive nations to act with impunity, further destabilizing the world order. The Axis powers were led by three major nations: Germany, Italy, and Japan. Each had its own ambitions for global domination and sought to expand its territory through military conquest. Germany, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, pursued aggressive expansionist policies with the goal of establishing a vast empire in Europe. Hitler's vision of a greater Germany involved the annexation of neighboring countries and the subjugation of non-Aryan peoples. Italy, led by Benito Mussolini, sought to create a new Roman Empire. Mussolini's fascist regime aimed to expand its influence in the Mediterranean and Africa through military campaigns and alliances with other totalitarian regimes. In the East, Japan, driven by Emperor Hirohito and military leaders, aimed to control Asia and the Pacific. Japan's imperial ambitions were fueled by a desire for natural resources and living space, leading to the invasion of China and other territories in Southeast Asia. Opposing the Axis powers were the Allies, a coalition of nations united by their commitment to defeating totalitarianism and preserving global peace. The United States, led by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, entered the war after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. The U.S. quickly mobilized its vast industrial and military resources, becoming a key player in the Allied effort. The United Kingdom, under the leadership of Prime Minister Winston Churchill, withstood the Nazi onslaught during the Battle of Britain and played a crucial role in coordinating the Allied war effort. The Soviet Union, led by Joseph Stalin, faced the brunt of the German invasion in Operation Barbarossa. The Soviet Red Army's resilience and eventual counteroffensive were pivotal in turning the tide of the war in Europe. China, under Chiang Kai-shek, was engaged in a long and brutal struggle against Japanese aggression, contributing significantly to the overall war effort despite immense suffering. France, although quickly overrun by Germany in 1940, continued to resist through the Free French forces led by Charles de Gaulle. These nations, along with many others, formed a powerful coalition to fight for global peace and justice. The war began with Germany's invasion of Poland on September 1, 1939, triggering Britain and France to declare war. Germany's Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, tactics quickly overran Poland, demonstrating the effectiveness of fast, coordinated attacks using tanks, aircraft, and infantry. Following the fall of Poland, Germany turned its attention to Western Europe. In 1940, German forces launched a rapid and devastating campaign against France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. France fell in just 6 weeks, and the British Expeditionary Force narrowly escaped through the Dunkirk evacuation. The Battle of Britain in the summer and autumn of 1940 saw the Royal Air Force defend the UK against relentless German air attacks. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF's skill and determination, combined with advanced radar technology, prevented a German invasion. Meanwhile, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa in June 1941, invading the Soviet Union. This marked one of the largest military operations in history, with millions of soldiers and vast amounts of equipment involved. The harsh Russian winter and fierce Soviet resistance eventually stalled the German advance, setting the stage for a prolonged and brutal conflict on the Eastern Front. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, devastating the U.S. Pacific Fleet. This act of aggression led the United States to declare war on Japan the next day. Shortly after, Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S., fully bringing America into the global conflict. The attack on Pearl Harbor galvanized American public opinion and unified the nation. The U.S. rapidly mobilized its industrial and military resources, transforming from a peacetime economy to a wartime powerhouse. This included mass production of aircraft, ships, and other war materials, as well as the drafting and training of millions of soldiers. America's entry into the war marked a turning point, providing the Allies with crucial resources and manpower. U.S. forces would go on to play a decisive role in both the European and Pacific theaters, contributing significantly to the eventual defeat of the Axis powers. The tide of the war began to turn with several key battles and turning points. The Battle of Stalingrad, August 1942 to February 1943. This brutal and devastating battle marked the turning point on the Eastern Front. Soviet forces encircled and defeated the German Sixth Army, delivering a crippling blow to Hitler's ambitions in the East. The Battle of Midway, June 1942, a pivotal naval battle in the Pacific, where U.S. forces, through a combination of code-breaking and strategic planning, defeated a major Japanese fleet. This victory halted Japanese expansion and shifted the balance of power in the Pacific. The D-Day invasion, June 6, 1944, also known as Operation Overlord, the Allied invasion of Normandy, was the largest amphibious assault in history. Thousands of troops stormed the beaches of Normandy, establishing a foothold in Nazi-occupied France and paving the way for the liberation of Western Europe. The Battle of El Alamein, November 1942 in North Africa, British forces under General Bernard Montgomery defeated the German Afrika Korps, led by General Erwin Rommel. This victory ended the Axis threat to the Suez Canal and set the stage for the Allied invasion of Italy. The Pacific Island Hopping Campaign, 1943 to 1945, a series of brutal battles in the Pacific, where Allied forces captured strategic islands, moving closer to Japan. Key battles included Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. These victories brought Allied forces within striking distance of the Japanese mainland. One of the darkest chapters of World War II was the Holocaust, the systematic genocide orchestrated by Nazi Germany that led to the murder of 6 million Jews and millions of others, including Roma, disabled individuals, political prisoners, and more. The Nazis established a network of concentration and extermination camps across Europe, where they carried out mass shootings, gas chamber executions, and forced labor. Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Sobibor are among the most infamous of these camps. The Holocaust was characterized by unimaginable brutality, with entire families, communities, and cultures destroyed. The world would not fully grasp the extent of these atrocities until the Allied forces liberated the camps in 1945, revealing the horrors to the global community. The Holocaust stands as a grim reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the importance of remembering and preventing such atrocities in the future. World War II was not only fought on battlefields, but also on the home fronts of the nations involved. Civilians played a crucial role in supporting the war effort through various means, i.e. the United States, Britain, and the Soviet Union. Factories were repurposed to produce weapons, vehicles, and other war materials. Women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, taking on roles traditionally held by men who were now fighting on the front lines. The iconic image of Rosie the Riveter symbolized the contribution of women to the war effort. Rationing of food, fuel, and other essentials became common as resources were diverted to support the military. Citizens were encouraged to grow victory gardens, participate in war bond drives, and contribute to scrap metal collections. The collective effort and sacrifice on the home front were essential to sustaining the war effort and ensuring eventual victory. The final stages of the war in Europe saw a series of decisive battles and strategic advances by the Allied forces. Following the successful D-Day invasion, Allied troops liberated Paris in August 1944 and continued to push eastward, liberating occupied countries along the way. In December 1944, the Germans launched a final major offensive, known as the Battle of the Bulge. Despite initial successes, the Allies managed to repel the attack, leading to a rapid advance into Germany. By April 1945, Allied forces had surrounded Berlin. Soviet troops fought their way into the city, and on April 30th, Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker. Just a few days later, on May 8, 1945, Germany officially surrendered, marking the end of the war in Europe, a day now celebrated as V-Day, Victory in Europe Day. The war in the Pacific continued even after the fall of Nazi Germany. The United States, with its island-hopping campaign, had made significant advances towards Japan. However, capturing each island came at a high cost, with fierce battles fought on Iwo Jima and Okinawa. In an effort to bring a swift end to the war and avoid a costly invasion of the Japanese mainland, President Harry S. Truman authorized the use of atomic bombs. On August 6, 1945, the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, followed by a second bomb on Nagasaki on August 9. The devastation and immense loss of life led Japan to surrender on August 15, 1945, a day known as VJ Day, Victory over Japan Day. The formal surrender took place on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay, officially ending World War II. The aftermath of World War II brought about significant changes and set the stage for the modern world. Europe and Asia were left in ruins, with millions of people displaced and economies shattered. The Marshall Plan, an American initiative, provided substantial financial aid to help rebuild European economies and prevent the spread of communism. In Asia, the U.S. led efforts to reconstruct Japan, transforming it into a democratic and economically prosperous nation. The war also led to the establishment of the United Nations in 1945, aiming to promote peace and cooperation among nations and prevent future conflicts. The horrors of the Holocaust and other wartime atrocities prompted a renewed commitment to human rights, resulting in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. However, the end of World War II also marked the beginning of the Cold War, a period of geopolitical tension between the Soviet Union and the United States and their respective allies. This new conflict would shape international relations for decades to come. World War II spurred remarkable technological advancements that had lasting impacts on both military and civilian life. Radar and sonar technology improved detection and tracking, while advancements in aviation led to the development of faster and more capable aircraft. The war also saw the birth of the nuclear age with the development and use of atomic bombs. This ushered in a new era of energy and weaponry, but also posed significant ethical and existential questions that continue to resonate today. Medical advancements, such as the mass production of penicillin, saved countless lives during the war and revolutionized healthcare. The war also accelerated the development of computers, with machines like the British Colossus and the American ENIAC laying the groundwork for the digital age. The legacy of World War II extends beyond technological progress. The war reshaped global politics, leading to the rise of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers, and decolonization movements in Asia and Africa gained momentum as former colonies sought independence. Amidst the vast scale of World War II, individual stories of courage, sacrifice, and heroism shine brightly. From soldiers on the front lines to civilians in occupied territories, countless people displayed extraordinary bravery. The story of the Great Escape from Stalag Luft III, where Allied prisoners of war tunneled out of a German camp, exemplifies ingenuity and determination. The exploits of the French resistance, sabotaging Nazi operations and aiding Allied forces, highlight the courage of ordinary citizens under occupation. Figures like Oskar Schindler, who saved over 1,000 Jews by employing them in his factories, and Raoul Wallenberg, who issued protective passports to save Hungarian Jews, demonstrate the power of individual action in the face of evil. These stories, along with countless others, remind us of the human capacity for resilience, compassion, and bravery, even in the darkest of times. World War II was a cataclysmic event that reshaped the world and left an indelible mark on history. The conflict claimed millions of lives, caused widespread destruction, and brought about profound social, political, and technological changes. As we reflect on this tumultuous period, it's important to remember the lessons learned and honor the sacrifices made. The stories of heroism, resilience, and unity that emerged from the war continue to inspire us today. By studying and remembering World War II, we reaffirm our commitment to peace, justice, and the protection of human rights. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Let us continue to strive for a world where such a devastating conflict never occurs again.